This is the third Hal's Take on Sports. If you've watched the first two, I think you've seen us grow a little bit and our coverage and where we might head in the future. I'll cover as much as I know to cover in sports. I do like the feedback I've been getting. I do like I like the comments I've been getting. And I do like everybody giving me their opinions and their ideas on where I should head with the next week's subjects. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. The 5 topics this week. Number 1 will be the state of hockey here currently in the U.S. and in North America particularly. The Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao controversy, possibly leading to a fight. The Bounty Gate situation in the NFL, hockey, a little bit of hockey, and finally Peyton Manning. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the state of soccer here in the U.S. and North America. The Major League Soccer, since they started years ago, they had a lot of problems early on financially. 2001, they actually contracted 2 teams from the league. Since then, they only had 1 soccer-specific stadium back then. Since then, 13 new or renovated soccer stadiums, and the league is making more money than ever. They have 3 teams now in Canada, with the newest team added this year, Montreal. So, with that said, I think soccer is starting to really play itself out, starting to play into the mainstream sports psyche, and that's kind of what you need. I think with especially with U.S. hiring their new coach, they've won their last 4 matches, especially the last match against Italy. First time they've beaten Italy in 87 years. Now granted, they've only played 11 times. It was a friendly, but still, important nonetheless. You need international recognition, you need some sort of international respect to kind of bring some attention back to the MLS. And they're getting some players you're going to name, or no names, David Beckham, Henry, guys like that. You need a couple more maybe, and it's hard to decide how much to pay these guys. Back years ago, there were only 3 owners for the 10 teams left after 2001 season. 3 owners. Now, I don't know how much money these guys have in their pockets, but that's kind of stretching it thin. So I think now financially, the league is a lot better off. Here in the U.S., they're playing more soccer than ever with youth leagues. So I think it's headed in the right direction. And I think everybody, once you start watching soccer, it is fun to watch. And I think the biggest thing is when the Olympics come along, the World Cup comes along, you kind of get behind it. World Cup comes along, you kind of get behind it. It's, it's a lot of country and civic pride in your teams. So I think if the U.S. furthers that, going along, beat some more known teams in the world, like in Italy. If you ever step up and beat Brazil, hey, that's good stuff there. But I think it's headed in the right direction. With that, we'll start talking about Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. I personally love Manny Pacquiao. Love to watch this guy box. Pound for pound, probably the strongest and he's just the most vicious puncher, pound for pound, in the world. I'd love to see him take on anybody in his division or near his division for that matter. I'd love to see him take on Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather is the richest boxer in history. And he stands to make $250 million off this fight. And that's the full purse, potentially, if this Pacquiao-Mayweather fight were to go off. But guess what? Mayweather offered him $40 million to start. $40 million. Okay. Floyd Mayweather, the bigger name, obviously. Does anybody know who Manny Pacquiao is? I'm pretty sure you do. Manny Pacquiao is a pretty good name in his own. But guess what? He wants half. And guess what? He deserves half. That fight, he's talking about fighting Miguel Cotto instead of Manny Pacquiao. Not going to make $250 million purse. Not going to happen. Mayweather, suck it up. Fight Pacquiao. I know you're afraid. Fighting now. The third thing we're going to talk about is the bounty issue in the NFL right now. It's recently come out that Greg Williams, the former defense coordinator for the New Orleans Saints and now the defense coordinator for the St. Louis Rams, actually had a program where he let players pay in for hits and for levels of pain inflicted upon the opposing players. i.e. $1,000 for this type of hit, $1,500, $2,000 for this type of hit. They had one actually called a card off. You got, I can't remember what it was, $5,000, $10,000 if you got the player carded off the field. Now, we all know the NFL, part of the reason we like it is the brutality, the viciousness of the hits. But you got to be smart about it. This is just ridiculous. I'm not saying I think it's okay, but God, if nothing else, be smart. Don't announce it to anyone, and definitely don't let anybody get to the point where, let's just put it this way, it's not smart, get rid of it. You have 55 players on a team, guess what? Somebody's going to let the cat out of the bag. Before this, it was with the Washington Redskins, and now that the word's out, from New Orleans, people are starting to come forth from there now too. And before that, he was the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. Guess what? People are saying that now too. So, people want to see hits. That's just what they want. This is the NFL. It's a man's league, okay? They're going to want to see that. But at the same time, now that we know what we know, you got to watch your kids on this one. You got to watch the message you send to your kids. From this, he'll be the defense coordinator of St. Louis now. He might not coach a game this year. He might not coach a game next couple years. Who knows? The NFL is going to come down hard on him. They're going to come down hard on the New Orleans Saints. And particularly the bigger players too. They said Drew Brees knew about this and basically turned a blind eye to it. And that's not going to be helpful. A guy like Drew Brees doing that. So it's just not good. It's not good for the NFL. It looks terrible. And hopefully it's not happening on my team. Because I just don't want to hear that. I just don't want to read that. So that's that. The next thing I'm going to talk about is hockey. Wow. Where do I start with hockey? Is anybody watching hockey? Are you watching hockey? Not you, Ted and Emily. I know you guys are watching hockey. Keep it up. But quick, tell me the best player in the NHL. Sidney Crosby? That's right. Guess how many games he's played in this year? 8. Is that going to really get the ratings meter just going? I don't think it is. So, who's the second best player? Yeah, Ovechkin. Yeah, the guy from Washington, Alexander Ovechkin. He is. Problem is, he has 49 points this year in 60-plus games. Where do you think that ranks amongst the league leaders in scoring? Not in the top 50. You need the premier guys, the face guys of hockey, to really be there to lead the league. Because guess what? Nobody is going to watch it. Your average sports fan, that is. Die-hard sports fans and true hockey fans are going to watch it, of course. It's a great sport. I love watching it. I was kind of burned and I'm jaded right now because guess where the NFL is not coming back to? That's Atlanta. Thank you, Gary Bettman, for nothing. Thank you for stealing my team and not really working on getting a strong ownership group in place like you did out in Phoenix, but let the team go up to Winnipeg and become the Winnipeg Jets. So, yeah, I'm not jaded. Anyway, you need guys like that in hockey. Without that right now, Washington, without Alexander Ovechkin being that premier player he should be, they're in 9th place in the Eastern Conference playoff standings. Guess what? You need that guy in the Stanley Cup Finals. You need a guy in the Stanley Cup playoffs. You need these guys. You really do. I know who Stamkos is. I know who Malkin is, the league's leading scorers. But do you know who they are? Again, not talking to you, Ted and Emily. I know you know. So, hockey, you need those guys. You need to groom them. You need to bring them. You need to open it up for Ovechkin. Whatever you got to do, get these guys on board and get them healthy, get them playing at a top level, and get people watching hockey again. The last thing I want to talk about, Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning yesterday was released by the Indianapolis Colts. 14 years. 14 years. This is the guy where they didn't know if him or Ryan Leaf were going to be better. Which one's going to be better? Does anybody know who Ryan Leaf is now? Most of you do because it's a punchline to most jokes. I watched Ryan Leaf play his best game in San Diego, a preseason game against the Arizona Cardinals, threw for 286 yards and 3 touchdowns. And guess what? That's probably his highlight of his NFL career. Peyton Manning has thrown for 55,000 yards, 399 touchdowns. Those are third all time. Third all time. He's 35 years old now. He's probably got at least 2 more years left in him if he's healthy. So, where does he go? Does he go to Denver? Does he go to Miami? Does he go to Tennessee, Kansas City, Seattle, New York Jets? All places that need quarterbacks currently? I'd like to suggest something, and it's not Arizona, because Arizona really wants him there. A system in place that is ready to compete for a Super Bowl, but without a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. The San Francisco 49ers. I have no love for the 49ers, but I tell you right now, I love the way they play. I love watching them play. Harbaugh, that guy knows how to coach a defense, knows how to coach smash mouth football, and definitely knows how to coach quarterbacks. You don't need to coach Peyton Manning. Guess what? Bring him in. They have a system in place. They're going to win automatically if they bring in Peyton Manning. They might still win with Alex Smith, don't get me wrong. But the whole notion, a lot of people are talking about Peyton Manning didn't want to play in the NFC, and again, you know, for teams that might possibly contend with the New York Giants, you know, for a chance to get back to the Super Bowl because his brother plays there, I don't buy that 1 minute. Not 1 minute. It's ridiculous. It's a silly argument. So with that, I'd like to submit, sign with the 49ers tomorrow. You guys sign, and guess what? You're in the Super Bowl. I don't want to see him in Miami. I care less about Miami. Denver, you know, let the Tebow train run itself out. Kansas City, that wouldn't be a bad spot. The New York Jets, I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. Go to San Francisco, win yourself a Super Bowl, make a couple friends of mine happy, and I tell you what, it couldn't have been a more gracious bow out yesterday than Peyton Manning had. The guy is just a class act, and I really enjoy watching him play. And I tell you what, it's going to be a sad day when he decides to really hang it up and retire, and we'll never see him play football again. We'll always see him on TV and see him in the commercials, but we'll never see him in a football game again because he's not the kind of guy that's going to come back. Once he calls it quits, he knows where he's at, and that's going to be it. We love watching the guy play. Great player, and I tell you what, great attitude, very personable, and just a lot of fun. You know, fun guy to be around too. Not from personal experience, but what I hear. So with that, that's our 5 stories we've covered. I hope a couple of people that asked me to do specific stories, I hope you liked that I did. I hope you like how I covered them. And next week, I can't tell you what we're going to discuss next week because I'm already working on it right now. And honestly, I appreciate input, but I already have mapped out what we're going to do next week. So with that, I'd like to say thank you for watching. I definitely appreciate it. If you like it, please comment. Hit the like button on here. Please share it with your friends. The more viewers, the better for me. The more the better I know that I'm doing. So I really appreciate that. And I hope you don't mind me wearing a t-shirt today. This was a recommendation. I really like it. So thank you, AJ. And thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.